10 weirdest houses. Many people have their future dream homes. They normally consist of many bedrooms, a large front porch, and a fenced-in backyard. But some people have a different view on their idea of a perfect home. We have made a list of the top 10 weirdest houses that have been designed. Number 10. Spaceship House, Tennessee. This house was featured on an HGTV show and has been in many newspapers and magazines. It is suspended on 6 cemented pillars where they park their cars, kind of like a garage. There are plenty of windows in this spaceship house. This 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house overlooks the Tennessee River. Number 9. The Shoe House. There was an old lady who lived in a shoe, but she didn't live in this shoe house. Instead, Colonel Malin M. Haynes built this house in 1948 and invited elderly people to stay in where they could live like kings and queens. This house has 5 stories, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a living room, and a kitchen. It is now being used as a museum. Number 8. The Notalas House, Mexico. This shell house was designed by Mexican architect Javier Senosian. It was built for a family who was fed up with living in a conventional home. The concept of this house was based on bioarchitecture, where people preferred to live in harmony with nature rather than against it. This beautiful house has colorful stained glass windows in the front doors. Number 7. The Mushroom House, Ohio. The Mushroom Tree House was created by a professor of architecture, Terry Brown, and his students. It took them 14 years for the design to become a reality. It uses all natural materials like colored glass, wood, ceramic, and shells. It gives the house irregular shapes, for a house at least. Number 6. Dog Bark Inn, Idaho. This house is not your typical dog house. Instead, it's shaped like a dog. It was created by Francis Conklin and Dennis Sullivan, and is a public place that you can go stay in whenever you want. So next time your wife sends you to sleep in the doghouse, take a trip to Idaho. Number 5. The Toilet-Shaped House, South Korea. The late mayor of Suwon, South Korea, Sim was born in a restroom which gave him the inspiration to create a home that is shaped like a toilet. In fact, the World Toilet Association's inaugural meeting in 2007 was conducted here. The main aim of the association is to make a proper sanitation system for the 2 billion people without toilets. Number 4. VW Beetle House, Austria. The famous Volkswagen Beetle car inspired a home that was built by the car designer, Marcus Vogrieder. This eco-friendly and energy-efficient house was completed in 2003. Years later, he also built a similar-style restaurant bar near his home called the Car das Auto. Number 3. The Falling Water, Pennsylvania. This home is built over a waterfall in 1935 by Frank Lloyd Wright. It was created for the Kaufman family, who used to run a major department store. Now this house is so close to the waterfall that it's hard to see through the trees and water. Number 2. The Steel House, Texas. This pig-like structure was designed by the famous architect and sculptor, Robert Bruno. It took him 23 years to build this, and over 100 tons of steel. This house was featured in an episode of Texas Country Reporter, and is considered an artist's masterpiece. Number 1. Palace of Bubbles, France. Due to the architect's love of nature, nature inspired the design of this structure. That is why this house comes in at number 1 on our list. Antti Lovag is against the traditional designing structures and despised buildings made from straight lines. So he created a 28-room building that looks like bubbles. Although this building is not even a half a century old, the Ministry of Culture in France has deemed it to be a historical monument.